Welcome to the Midnight Series, where we slip into our PJs and lean into the uncomfortable, one late night conversation at a time. Think of this as your late night sleepover with friends, the kind where conversation gets real after the lights go out. So slip into your PJs, grab your favorite beverage, and let's begin.
I feel like I need to do like a meditation or something.
Yeah.
Like seriously, it's such a thing. Like doing bedtime too. Noah's just in such a phase right now. I mean, it's so sweet. Like it's in that fun stage where she's really starting to talk and really starting to, do all of the fun stuff. But girl is wearing
What do you mean,
me
like
out.
bedtime? Is she just trying to prolong it?
Yeah, her new thing is like, I don't want to, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, well. We don't have to. Well, I'm like, okay, do you want to use the little potty or the big potty? I don't have to go potty. I don't want to. And then she's like, I want this book. She always wants to read Fox and Socks, and it is the worst tongue twister in the entire world. And I don't know why Evan got her. I guess Evan loves that book, but it is like when you're already like your brain is so full and you have so much going on, and then you have to read one of those tongue twisters from Dr. Seuss. I'm just like, that's criminal.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Do you know the trick? Would she notice if you
like,
skipped a page?
Okay. No, she doesn't, thankfully. So I do. But tonight I
You're like, I can't do Fox and Socks right now.
I can't do it. I literally cannot do it. I will not be well. I was like, give me Yertle the Turtle again. I'll read Yertle the Turtle. Just no more
And
Fox
Dr.
and Socks.
Seuss books are so long. I'm like, why are there so many pages?
I know. I really don't know. I don't know. But she's so sweet. But she's in that, like I said, she's in that fun stage. So it's like, she's like, wow. Or like, she'll be like, I love you so much. And I'm just like, oh. And then she'll grab my face on both sides and just
mush.
Kiss me.
I love it.
So
I was running a little behind.
I know.
Because Phoebe was having it before we started this because she was tired. I could hear it in her voice and her cry. So everything was a protest. And I'm like, you know what? Just go put on your PJs, get on the couch with your dad, and watch a movie. Like, it's fine. But she wanted to be up here with me, and she wanted me to snuggle, which is hard because, you want to be like, well, yeah, I'll snuggle. Like, I'll cancel everything I had planned. And some nights that works, but, we have to record tonight. Yeah.
But then tonight it's like, yeah, I know.
She was like, I swear I'll be quiet. And I'm like, okay, we can try it. And then she was like, never mind. I was like, okay.
Oh, I feel like this is such a good topic because we're moms with a call, which is funny because a lot of people think, not a lot, like 3 people. 3 people have told me, they're like, oh, it's like a motherhood thing. And I'm like, no, but we're just 2 moms with a call. But motherhood is a huge part of who we are. And I think like Jesus has called us to be as moms. We've touched on this, I guess, in maybe our intro and our testimonies, but we're very like we're 2 different moms, right? So you're a stay-at-home mom with Phoebe and Tate, and then I am I'm like this weird hybrid.
Truly.
I'm a working mom. So I don't go to the office. Yeah, I have my own business. And the whole reason I created my business was so that I could be with my kids, but it's like impossible to work with your kids. And so I can't get enough done in like the 2-hour nap that they have, maybe if they have that. And so I probably need roughly 20 to 30 hours a week of childcare. So not quite full time, but it's so hard because I don't think enough women talk about how difficult it is, no matter whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're working or somewhere in between, how hard it is to balance everything. And I think it's just, I don't know. That was like I always knew I was called to be a mom. I always wanted to be a mom. There was one part in my life where I thought maybe I didn't want kids for a second, but I think I was just with the wrong person. And so I just knew even as like a little girl, I wanted to be a mom. But I always wanted to work. Like I've always had this like super intense entrepreneurial
Mhm.
like drive. And I wanted to I never felt like, oh, I had to choose. I had to choose between doing a career or having my kids and being a present mom. And I am just so thankful too that we live in the time that we do because in 2025, you're able to actually, be at home with your kid. Like, they didn't have the internet and
Mhm.
online work. And I mean, I found all of my clients, all of them are all over the globe. So I wouldn't be able to do that if we were, in early 2000s or even in the 1900s, like not the
Yeah.
1900s, I guess the 90s, the 1900s. But I feel so lucky to be able to do that, but it's still
Mhm.
so hard.
Yeah.
And I feel so torn between being with my kids and I feel like half of the week I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to be with my kids. Maybe I shouldn't even work. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just stay at home. But it's like I have that moment of like, oh my gosh, I just want to be with my kids. They're
Mhm.
never going to be this little again. And I just want to soak every
Mhm.
single minute up. And then there's the flip side where I'm like, oh my gosh, this like I see so much potential in this career, or I get so excited. I just started doing ads for one of my clients for her first digital product, and it's popping off. Like they're doing so good, and I see such potential for her and her agency, and I get so excited, and then see the potential with my agency, and it really fills up
Mhm.
my cup, and I get so excited and so happy. And then I'm like, oh shoot, like I'm working, like I don't have enough time to work and to pour into this that, I don't and then I worry that I don't have enough to pour into the agency and for what that need for their needs, its need. I feel like it's another child in and of itself. And so it's this
Mhm.
constant tug and pull. And I know other moms experience it, but I don't really think a lot of people talk about it because it's like, oh, well, you're a terrible mom because you're working and you're not spending time with your kids. And then it's if you're a stay at home mom, well, you're not
Mhm.
actually doing any work. And you're just lazy and, there's all these stereotypes. And sorry, I'm
You're
on a
good.
monologue here.
No, you're good.
Feel free
You're
to jump
good.
in if you want to
I
jump
think
in. I feel
it's
like I'm just
okay.
bleh.
No, you're spot on with everything you're saying. I'm like, yep. Yeah. I think being a stay-at-home mom, a lot of things I see surrounding it is more so, um, well, there's two things. There's two main things of, well, you don't, it's kind of like an attack on women's empowerment these days. It's it's almost like and it's not everybody, but I've seen it. People talk about it on the internet and stuff. It's almost frowned upon as a woman in society. For me, I just don't feel that way. I'm kind of like, why can't we celebrate both? Because I'm so proud of you for having a career and working as hard as you do and being a woman in the workforce and being so successful. I think that's amazing, but I think my work at home with my children is equally as important, and I don't feel like it's
Mhm.
threatening feminism. I just don't feel
No.
that way. I think both should be celebrated. And then I also have this complete mindset of, wow, I'm so privileged to have the choice to stay home or not. Even
Mhm.
women that are like, I want a career, I want to be successful. That's wonderful, and I think that should be celebrated. But for a lot of moms, I would say, if not the majority of moms, working moms, they have no choice. They have to go to work.
Yeah.
And they
Mhm.
have to take whatever jobs they can get to provide for their kids. And those moms need to be acknowledged and celebrated. And oftentimes I feel like it's a war between working women and stay-at-home moms. And I'm like, what about the women that don't have the privilege of choice, that have to be at work providing for their children?
Or the women who can't afford childcare, and so they're trying to work and take care of their children at the same time.
That's definitely
I'm seeing that it's
really
everywhere.
who I'm referencing to. And then even their children, it's like they have to physically go to work and figure out how their children are going to be safely cared for, because childcare is not affordable, which is a whole nother tangent. But
Whole nother thing.
I'm like, motherhood looks so different for everybody, and I think we should all be celebrated no matter which path
it goes back to, we all have our own unique purpose here, and God put us on this planet with he created us and crafted us and built us and put the desires that we have in our heart. And so if you have the desire to stay at home and you have the means to do that, that is nothing to be like looked down upon. That is, to be honest, I think it's harder to stay at home all day with those crazy children than it is to leave and go to work. I mean, it's so hard to be with your kids 24/7 because they have so much more. And I don't want to be like, oh, it's so hard, they're so difficult. They're not. They're just kids. And it's a job. They're so high energy, and they need so much attention. And there was some quote that I felt was like, it's only hard for good parents. And so if you're trying to, be with them and be a good parent, you are on 24/7. And so if you're a stay-at-home mom, that is your job. There are no breaks. You don't get a lunch. You don't get, I mean, maybe you get a nap time, but if you have more than one kid, the odds of them napping at the same
maybe
time
when
are
they're
very
itty bitty.
low.
But at this age, there's no napping in our house. At least in our
Yeah. I will say our kids
they're
do
still
nap.
small.
They're still small. But yeah, they're so small. But it's getting to the point where I'm so blessed that I found a co-working space in Cary that has childcare and it's affordable. And so I'm so blessed that I found that, because it's kind of the best of both worlds. But we can go and you have childcare there. The kids can stay there, and you can get whatever work you need done. And I feel like it's $11 an hour or something like that. Wild per kid.
Shout out
it's
to
so
your workspace.
Cheap. Or
to Blush.
Blush.
That's
Blush
incredible.
Co-work in Cary. It is so incredible. Allison, the owner, they're merging with another co-working space. I can't remember the name right now. But it is called Blush. And so I think it's changing names in October. And so, the Coven, which is kind of funny because
it's a little witchcrafty.
We were giving her shit for it. Yeah, they were like, what? But then I started thinking about it, and I think there's a church that meets there on Sunday.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So can you imagine? Can you imagine people join our church and they come in and it says the Coven?
I wonder where that name came from. Like why they chose it.
It is like not witchy at all. The branding is not witchy at all. I think they just, because it's the gathering place, it's a hub. I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be called the Coven. And she was like, oh, witchcraft. And I was like, Mom, witchcraft. Oh my gosh, dude. I know. She's like, oh, McKenzie.
I love your mom.
I was like, Mom, it's just a word. She goes, oh. Well, I don't know. And I was like, Mom, it's just a word. It probably predates actual witchcraft practices.
Yeah, let's look it up immediately. Siri.
And I was like, I think it does, though.
Maggie,
please leave.
Hi. I mean, I should have assumed you would make an appearance.
She's like, yes, I'm here in all my glory. My gosh, Boris was so upset today. I think he's teething. And
our sweet baby Angel cannot be teething.
I know. It's so upset. I feel so bad for him. He already has 2. He has 2 at the
Oh my
bottom.
gosh, he's growing
I
up
know. They're
too
so cute. I'll send you a
fast.
picture. Um, it's so wild. But I think he's getting in more teeth, and so he has just been such a fussy, like, he's
Oh, it
so
has to
sad,
hurt.
and he doesn't want me to put him down. I know. I just feel here, I'm gonna send you this picture of them in the bath. Um, but you can see his 2 little teeth that came in. He's such a little ham. And they're so cute, but I feel so bad for him. So he just all
Oh,
day
I
today,
know.
I was at Blush and I was put him in there and he just so cute.
Oh, it does. It kind of
His
looks like
little
he's
teeth.
getting the ones
Um,
next to the lower ones.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Oh, look at Noah
Feel like
girl
I need to
in her
zoom in.
bath. She's so cute.
Oh wait, I'm gonna send you another one because she's like cheesing hard in
Mm.
this one. Um, but she
Oh
is
my
such they're
gosh.
both just
They're
such funny little
so cute. They look
babies.
so much alike. It's wild. I mean, my kids do too, but
They do.
oh my gosh.
Sorry to tease everybody who doesn't.
They're so cute.
He's such a chunk
He
too. He's
is. Oh
huge.
my.
I feel like Forrest is a massive. He's like 26 pounds right now. I feel like all kids are so different and so like there's a little girl in childcare, like at Blush with him, and it's so cute. They ended up like I can't remember how to say her name, but I won't actually say it on here, but she's so cute and
Mhm.
she's so teeny. She is maybe a month older than Forrest, and she literally is like half his
Mm.
size. But she's walking, and
At
it's the
9 months.
wildest thing to see such
Oh,
she's
right.
a month
10
older, so
months.
she is about to be 1.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she's about to be 1 because he's about to be 11, or he's almost 11 months, and she's
Okay.
almost
Okay.
12
Okay.
months.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I know it's confusing, but yeah, she just started walking, and it is. Have you ever like when babies start walking and they're so tiny, it's like it looks like they
Yes, that's
shouldn't be able to
how
walk.
Beckett was, my goddaughter. When I first saw her walk for the first time, she came around the door frame of her room. And granted, they have like 10-foot ceilings, so their door frames seem a lot bigger than like your average house. But she came around that
Yeah,
door frame and I was like, oh my gosh, it looked like a little
you're like,
it looked
what?
like
This
a
is
little
crazy.
6-month-old baby walking and I was like, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I was squealing. I was like, oh my god,
So wild to me.
so cute.
See, it's so wild. They're
I
so little
know.
teeny tiny thing. I'm just like, how are you
I
walking?
know.
How can you support yourself?
Oh,
This
I
is
miss that
wild.
stage so much. So
Um,
you don't get baby fever often or
I think it's because they
yeah,
have a
yeah.
baby,
You're still in the baby
you know?
stage.
Like he's still a baby, which is weird because with Noah, I had baby fever almost like
I want a
immediately. I was like,
million
oh
of
my gosh, I want
these.
another one
Yeah.
right away. And I want a million. Yeah. And then with Forrest, I think maybe it's just because going back to what we were talking about earlier, I think I just have so much going on. I'm
Mhm.
really overwhelmed right now. I've got my agency is really picked up. And then also having 2 kids going from 1 to 2 rocked
Yes.
my world. Like
So
rocked me.
I
But
was
actually
gonna
let's
say I
talk
want to
about
touch
that.
on that because you had a harder time going from 1 to 2 rather than 0 to 1.
Yes,
That's so
1,000%.
interesting because I was
Yeah.
oh
What
zero
did
to
you
one. I mean, it was like a shell shock for me.
That's so wild. Okay, why was it such a shell shock for you going from I mean, I get it because you go from
Yeah,
nothing
it's
to
like your
everything,
whole
right?
norm.
You have so
Yes.
much free
And so when
time.
I had Phoebe, I was 26, but that was in 2019. So that was really before the major boom of all of the mommy resources on Instagram. There still was not a
Yeah.
ton
Mhm,
of accounts that helped except for this one lady. It was like you had the Moms on Call book. That was like pretty much the only resource that
mhm.
I was given from other moms. And then I'm 26 and none of my friends are having kids yet. They're still, in that stage
Mhm.
of life. And then my sister was like the only one that really I was super close with that had a baby. Besides one friend, she lived in Georgia and she had like
Mhm.
3 kids at this time. So her hands were full. But so it's funny because asking my sister for advice, she's so like, oh, I don't know. I just kind of wung it, truly. Um, so that really was hard for me. I had been working up until then. So I was getting used to being at home with a child, young. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, my breastfeeding journey was so difficult with Phoebe right off the bat. So I didn't have like, you know, the internet or friends that had kids. So I didn't know about like the
Mhm.
cluster feeding in the hospital and how terribly bad that hurts. I didn't know that you needed to have a pump. I didn't like I just was so not prepared. So my breastfeeding journey was so hard with
Mhm.
her. She has a lip tie, or yeah, a lip tie, and then she didn't want to latch. So I saw 4 lactation consultants with her from the time she was born to a month, and it helped, but she still was struggling so much. I didn't realize breastfeeding was a whole other journey that you really had to learn about. It wasn't so natural where
Mhm.
it's like you just put the baby on the boob and they eat. That was
Yeah.
not my experience at all. I was struggling with all of my friends being in a different stage of their life, so I felt a little isolated to my home. And then I had postpartum anxiety, like those
Mhm.
intrusive thoughts. So I was kind of scared about leaving home. And that was when I really started recognizing that I have an absolutely wrecked central nervous system. So it was like I needed to heal
Mhm.
myself. I'm raising a tiny baby in isolation, essentially, that I've put myself there. And then my now husband, we weren't married at the time. He was going through some family things that was like really weighing on our relationship. We're
Mhm.
trying to figure out when we're going to get married. So, anyways, I digress, but it was a
Oh,
whole
it's a lot.
thing with me. So when Tate came, it felt like I had a second opportunity to really enjoy postpartum. I was so excited. I felt like because I had one, I was like, oh, it's just adding another, which is such a naive statement to make because you have no time at all for yourself.
No, I thought the same
Yeah,
thing.
0 to 1 rocked me like hardcore.
Yeah. I think it's I maybe the reason it didn't rock me, so I had Noah in 2022. And by then there were a
Mm-hmm.
lot of resources. So taking care of
Uh-huh.
babies, there were a lot of things on Instagram, on TikTok, on
Yeah,
all of the things. And so I'm also such a researcher too. So I think I researched
everything. Mm-hmm.
literally every single thing I could possibly think of. And so I was over prepared. I thought it was going to be the hardest thing ever, that I was going to have absolutely no time, that I mean, I was fully prepared for. I said I wasn't even going to like breastfeed because I just thought it was going
Mm-hmm.
to be way too hard and it was going to be such an issue. And so then when I had her, I was so surprised that, and I think I got really blessed with such a good baby
Yeah.
that slept
Mm-hmm.
and, didn't have any issues. She struggled to latch. She did struggle to latch. And so she never really fully latched. There may be a couple I
Mm-hmm.
could count on my hand the times that she latched. And even then it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a good latch. And so we did bottles and she
And it
also had the
hurts.
lip
Like people
tie.
don't. It hurts to
Oh
nurse a
yeah.
baby
Oh
with a
my
lip
gosh.
tie.
Yeah. Yeah. Forrest didn't have one. So and he wasn't, it didn't hurt at all to nurse him, which is great. But with Noah, it was just I struggled with that. So I did bottles, but I was exclusively pumping. And then she started developing some kind of allergy to my milk. And so she was struggling just with a lot of gas. Like, and she went from being like such a chill, super easy, sweet baby sleeping to just like you
Mm-hmm.
could tell she just, oh, like her stomach was hurting and she was having, just so many different issues. And so we finally realized it was dairy. And I had tried to cut that out of my milk or out of my diet so that I could breastfeed her, but they didn't tell me that and I didn't realize this. I don't know if I just didn't Google it or what, but it can take over or up to 2 weeks for it to fully get out of your
Mm.
system
I didn't know
before.
that.
So you need to wait
Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah. So I had waited a couple days and I wasn't seeing any, you know, results from it. And I was like, well, screw this. Like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to like take every single thing out of my diet. And then she's still miserable. Like, I just know. So I put her on Nutramigen, which is like a hydrolyzed, super hydrolyzed
Mhm.
uh, formula. And she did great on it. Literally almost overnight, she started
Oh, that's
acting
so good.
different.
Yeah.
And then she was back to her normal self within like 2 or 3 days. And so we had her on that. And then we also had a lot of family stuff that, I talked about in my testimony that went through. And so my postpartum period was really hard, but having the baby
Mhm.
wasn't hard for me, if
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. It was more, I really felt like it was
Mhm.
circumstantial what I was going through versus baby related and
Mhm.
postpartum related. It was technically considered postpartum because I think from what I've talked to with my postpartum therapist, my regular therapist is so messed up. I've got 2 different therapists. But but they were kind of like, look, it was already a bad situation, and then you were postpartum, and so it just kind of amplified. Maybe you would have had postpartum, we don't know, but being in the situation you were just made everything
Mhm.
times 100. And
Yeah.
so, um, yeah, like it was hard, but again, like having Noah was not that difficult. Like it was
Yeah.
for me. I think I was
Yeah.
over prepared. And so I was pleasantly surprised. So I thought it was going to be the same way for it because I still had time with Noah. She would go down for her nap and I would have 3 hours. I think at some point she was
Oh,
taking 4 hour
wow.
naps.
Yeah.
Like she was
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like such a good sleeper. She started sleeping through the night at
Mhm.
like 8 weeks. And I thought it was going to be basically another one. And so Forrest was a great sleeper too. I mean, it took him a little bit longer. I think it took him up almost 4 months. It was truly that I thought I had no time with Noah, but I actually had time, and it was
Mhm.
so hard logistically too to have two. And I don't think anybody talks about that, like the logistics of
Yeah.
having two. Um, they're on
Uh-huh.
different schedule. They need different food. They have different
Uh-huh.
doctor's appointments, and if you have childcare, they're in different childcare like levels, right? If you're in a daycare, there's like infant newborns and then there's toddlers, and that might not line up, right? And so then if you have a sitter, sometimes it's fine, but our sitter I think really struggled with two because then you can't really go
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and do things, or at least she couldn't really go out and do things. And because it's a lot when you have a toddler and a newborn. I think I saw something, it was like there's tired, and then there's pregnant tired, and then there's pregnant with a
Tired.
toddler tired. And I was like, I just butchered explaining that. But it it was like I thought that I couldn't get any more tireder with a newborn and being like, or being pregnant and having a toddler. And then, oh my gosh, like working and having 2 kids that are little. Oh my Lord, it was so
Yeah, it
exhausting.
like
So that's
yeah,
why it rocked me.
I get that. I mean, not from like a working standpoint, but I can imagine that that felt like you're just being pulled in all these different directions. And not only is it
hmm
physically tired, I'm sure it's mentally and emotionally just draining.
Yes, the mental load is just crazy. Because I mean, your mental load
Yeah.
essentially doubles because you're thinking not only about one kid, but now 2 kids. And your littler child is now growing up, and there's more things. I know it's just silly to say, but there's more stuff that you have to
Mhm.
keep track of the older your child gets. And I didn't
Yeah.
really realize that. Like they want to play, they're
Mhm.
bored and they need to have
Mhm.
stimulation, right? I don't just like sit mine in front of, not that there's anything wrong with the TV, but because we definitely use the TV sometimes, but I can't, like, Noah will not be well if we stay
Yeah.
inside all day.
Mhm.
She's so high energy. And so we have to be doing stuff. We have to be going out and doing things. And so planning that and planning activities for her and her school. Yeah. And then putting them in a
Mhm.
preschool, right? And doing that, like trying to figure out all those logistics. And then trying to figure out if they're going to play soccer, if they're going to play this, if
Mhm.
they're going to do this, if they're going to go to a gymnastics thing. I mean, it is
Yeah, I
crazy.
remember yeah.
Crazy.
I remember hitting that point and being like, I don't have to do all these things to keep my child happy
Yeah.
because it is completely draining me running them here, 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 and here. And
Yeah.
so I just made the decision with Ross. I'm like, I'm not going to do, like soccer and gymnastics and I'm not going to do all that unless she specifically comes to me and asks me to do them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with putting your kids in
Hmm.
sports and all that stuff, but it was not serving me well and it was not serving her well. Like we would be on the soccer field.
Yeah.
She's so overstimulated. She's so go, go, go all the time. She's like having a meltdown in the middle of the soccer field. And I'm like, you
Hmm.
could take that scenario with a 3, 4-year-old who's not really going to process this of like, well, this is sports. You get back up and you do it again and it's like in that moment, I'm like, she's tired. She's overstimulated and she doesn't have to be doing something all the time, but trying to teach Phoebe how to slow
Hmm.
down and essentially if you're bored, then get creative, Like there's plenty of stuff to do around the house.
Yeah.
We can do art. We can, get our wiggles out and dance and all the like there's other
Hmm.
options outside of go, 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 go all the time.
For me, it was like way harder to do that. Like to figure out things to do at home. It was hard. It's harder to stay
Yeah.
here than it is to go out for us.
Well, and you guys
And
work from
I think
home
everybody's
too.
different and different
Yeah.
ages are different. Yeah, yeah. So, I think it's so but I agree there shouldn't be this pressure to, like, put your kid in a
Yeah.
million different things. You don't need to do that. And if they don't like it, they don't need to stay in it. I totally agree with, we put Noah in this, like, dance class, and she looked
I
so cute
know.
in her little tutu. I wish she woulda liked it, but she
Yeah.
hated it. Like, she did not like it. And I'm like, "Okay, that's not for you." And so, I think it's for us staying home and I'm like, "Oh, the logistics were so hard," but it was like staying home
Yeah.
was worse. At least with the age that she was, because it wasn't like, Noah's in that age, she's almost 3. It's not like we can just be like, "All right, Noah, go find
Right,
something to play
right.
with." No, like, she doesn't,
Yeah.
like, maybe she's just
Yeah.
now starting to get to the point where she'll play with her toys independently for a little bit, but we did not
Yeah.
have that,
Yeah.
like, at all. And so, um, I think it was easier to get out, but I don't know, it's hard to every kid
Mhm.
is different and every parent is different, and I think there shouldn't be any pressure to do all of the things or
Right.
do none of the things. There's no right way. It's like
Yeah.
whatever works for your family. But regardless, it's okay if there's a huge mental load that comes
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
either staying home all the time or and figuring out all these activities to have on hand to do
Mhm.
and get them excited and moving and stuff like that, or if it's all these things that you have to plan out and go to soccer and go to gymnastics and do
I
this and
think it was
that
more
and
like the ritual.
just kids
I
in
think it was
general.
more the like rigid schedule of everything. It's like, okay, we have school and then we have to be at soccer and then on Wednesday nights we go to
Mhm.
church and then we have, dance and then I was just like, oh my gosh. Like
That's a
and not only
lot.
is it a lot for me and I would have sucked it up, but I'm like, she can't be thriving with this many
In that
things. Like I
environment.
understand you have school and you want to do a sport or two, and then you have your church, and it's like spread out throughout the week, but
Yeah.
something all the time. It was like I had to teach her, because even if we weren't going to some event, it was like, well, can we go to the trampoline park, or can we do this? And it's like, that's fine every once in a while, but you
Yeah.
don't need to have something all the time. Some days we're going to be busy and some days we're going to chill, and we got to figure out both.
Yeah. Did you have her in any kind of preschool program like you did
Yeah,
me?
she was in like 9 to 12.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
mother's morning out
Like in
type stuff.
a little church program.
That's
Yeah.
what Noah's in.
So it's like by the time you
Yeah,
get
that's
home,
exactly what Noah's
you
in
have
too.
like an hour, and then you're like,
He
it's
has to turn around. I know.
like I can start one load of
Like
laundry.
what?
I can't finish
Okay.
that one load, but I can start it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
story of my life. That's how I feel like when I work in the morning. I'm just like I try to get started because at the time everything happens, I try not to have any calls
Mhm.
until 10 because
It
the morning
is.
is just nuts. And so I'll do that and I'll be like, okay, great. And I'll have a call at 10 and sometimes I'll have a call at 11. And then before I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already 12 o'clock. I either have to go get Noah from school or I have to go spend lunch with them at childcare because they don't have lunch coverage. Like all of their providers take off lunch. And so I'm like, okay, great. So then I go have an hour lunch and then I go back to work for like, if I'm at Blush, I can actually work. But if I have the kids, I have to wait
Yeah.
until they go down for a nap. And then I'm like, okay, what? Maybe I
Mhm.
get an hour. Maybe. That
Yeah.
there's an
I can't
overlap.
even imagine. Yeah. I
Crazy.
bet your brain is
It's
like,
crazy, man.
what is happening? Like, what is going on?
I truly do feel like that half the time. Evan told me this the other day. He was like, I think I'm gonna butcher the number, but he was saying that your brain processes thoughts like 4,000
Mhm.
thoughts a minute or something crazy like that. And but you can only speak
Yeah.
so many, so fast. It's like 10 times faster or something than you can speak. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that is how my brain is nonstop. It's like
Mhm.
constantly going and I can't even get out what I'm thinking and because there's
Mhm.
just the mental load. It's so crazy. And I'm like, is there a time that this is ever going to be decreased?
Uh, I would
Do you
assume.
think?
Yeah. I
Right? I think it's
well,
just a phase.
yeah. But that's the thing with kids and motherhood. It's like you get out of one phase and you enter into the other phase. And so just when you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I really feel like I've got my groove. I've figured this out." Everybody's vibing in the house. It's like something else comes and you're like,
Yeah.
"Whoa," which is
It's like bam,
yeah, right.
sleep
Which really
regression or
yes,
bam, potty
exactly. It's
training.
always something. But honestly, I don't think it was until recently where I was like, wait, these are the moments where I really need to rely on the Lord to sustain me, because I'm like in this mindset of, oh, this too
Yeah.
shall pass. I'll just sit here in complete chaos, be completely overstimulated, not pour into my cup, just kind of like,
Yeah. Well, you
yeah,
serve
oh,
your kids
absolutely.
first. You're not serving you don't put your oxygen
I
mask on
mean, I feel like you're
first.
supposed to, but I definitely don't.
Yeah, you're definitely supposed to, but moms
Right.
don't do it. I agree. Like we just our
Mhm.
default is to like and of course you need to provide for your children. I never think that your want, right, like should come before your children's needs. That being said, sometimes taking time to yourself or pouring into your cup
Mhm.
and self-care, that is not a
Oh,
want.
absolutely. When I had Phoebe, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. So it was like in moments of overstimulation and chaos and
Mhm.
stress and isolation and postpartum anxiety and all these things, I didn't have God to turn to. And sometimes prayers and motherhood just looks like help. Like help. Yeah,
Help.
like
Yeah.
I'm drowning.
I'm always like, Lord, give me the
Yeah.
strength, give me the strength.
So I feel like I was in that constant burnout stage where my therapy, and this
Mhm.
sounds terrible, but my releasing of emotions was like I would be in the shower, sitting on the floor, bawling my eyes out. And she'd just be asleep for bed. And
Oh my
I
gosh.
was so burnt out.
Me
And
too.
I would get out and be like, okay, that feels better. But looking back now, I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah. That's no, I did the exact same thing. I would just take
Just sob.
showers and just
Yeah. Like
cry.
I couldn't even,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
couldn't
I
even
feel way
stand
better.
up. I was so burnt out.
No, I
Sob.
would sit on the
Yeah.
ground. I would sit too. Me too. I
Mm-hmm.
would just sit there. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's universal. Maybe I'll all of a start crying in the
I
shower on the
remember
floor
telling this girl who was like, this
when they're
one girl,
burned
she was
out.
like, me and my husband are going to start trying soon. We're so excited. And I'm like, trying to be supportive, but also acknowledging that motherhood is
Yeah.
extremely hard. I'm like, if you're ever sitting on the shower floor, bawling your eyes out, like, it's normal. And she's like, what?
What? You're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
literally. I'm like,
projected.
oh, it's just
Oh,
me.
that's
It's just
me
me.
right now.
It's great.
And it's so crazy because it's like, it's so different from, it has nothing to do with your
No.
children. Like, as people, they're so wonderful. It's literally just,
Yeah.
it's one of the hardest jobs in the world.
And it,
That's what it is. And I like what you were saying is like the Lord gives us the ability to
mm-hmm.
like we need to pull from
Yeah.
him to sustain us. That was my verse, I think like 2 days ago. And it was the Bible verse app. Do you remember? Do you look at that
I
every day?
want to say yes, but
I don't every day,
I feel
but
like I have
no, I
really
don't
good
either.
streaks and then I'm off for a while.
I know. Well, especially if you do
Mm-hmm.
other
Yeah.
like devotionals, it's hard to do it, but I'm trying to figure out if I can find it. It's when Jesus is
Uh-huh.
being attacked by the devil and he is in the desert for those 40 days and 40 nights and the devil is coming to him and he is just tempting him. It's like, if you're really God, if you are really who you say you are, then just create
Mm-hmm.
bread for yourself, just create it. Like, and he goes, no, the Lord gives me
Mm-hmm.
everything I need
Mm-hmm.
to be sustained here on this. I don't need the food. The Father gives me everything I need. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a powerful reminder for us as moms of, but we still need food, don't forget. But yes, we need food, but
Mm-hmm.
the Lord really does give us everything we need to keep us going and to sustain us. And it's just funny that you mentioned that because that was
Yeah.
literally the verse
No,
like
I
2
love
days
it.
ago.
I did it. I think back and I can't imagine how much different my experience would have been if I had that relationship with God. It wouldn't feel so,
Yeah.
I'm sure it still would at times. It wouldn't feel so impossible and heavy
Heavy.
and exhausting. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still, like I said, at times it always feels that way. It just serves as like a constant reminder of surrender. And it's not even I guess it is surrendering
Mhm.
control, but for me it's more like I have to release this or I am going to
Yeah.
drown in it. And it's you have your really good days and your really good grooves,
Yeah.
but again, it's exhausting. And I feel like with our
Yeah.
generation, we're trying to heal and raise
Yeah.
children at the same time. It's really something, it's so incredible to watch this movement of our generation being parents
Mhm.
of, and I guess people will call it gentle parenting, but I don't feel like it's that way because there's still
It's not like it's not passive parenting. It's
yeah,
just good
yeah, where
parenting, I think.
we're trying to heal and
We're
regulate
trying to regulate
ourselves.
ourselves so that we
Yeah.
can regulate our
But
children.
it's like, I'm hopeful that, and I'm sure Phoebe and Tate will have their times if they're parents where they're still overstimulated. They're humans, but I'm hopeful that I can equip them with the tools to notice when they're
Mhm.
overstimulated and know how to regulate themselves. And then they can, you know.
Yeah. We've been teaching Noah to take deep breaths, and it's just been our
Mm-hmm.
default since she was little. And she's finally getting to the point where she'll just be
Mm-hmm.
like when she gets so
Mm-hmm.
frustrated. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I
Mhm.
had that
Yeah.
as a kid, that would have been so incredible. And nobody talks about how hard it is, though, when you're upset and you're in the heat of the moment and you're overstimulated, and you're exhausted, and your kid, does something. Like yesterday, Noah accidentally whacked me with
Mhm.
a bowl, like a ceramic bowl of grapes. And I so badly wanted to just be like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, ow, like, what are you doing? And scream. But then to
Mhm.
stop yourself and pause and not react and sit back and just gather your thoughts and regulate yourself
Mhm.
and then parent and be like, hey, this is what happened. That is probably
Mm.
the hard. That's why I think we're
Absolutely.
so
Oh,
exhausted.
100%. And it doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom, work from home mom, a working mom,
Mhm.
single mom. That is the hardest part of parenting. And
Mhm.
you're so right. It's why we're all
Yeah.
so tired. But it's such powerful and
Yeah.
meaningful work.
And
Yeah.
it's
It's like in the
powerful.
long run, it's going to be.
It is.
Do you
It
feel
is.
like with motherhood, I'm trying to think of how to formulate this question. Do you think motherhood has healed you in a way?
Oh yeah. Well, I think yes and no. Yes, in the sense of I have really it has pushed me to one, allow the Lord to
Mm-hmm.
come in and work in my life. And then two, it has pushed me to heal myself through therapy, through work, through,
Mm-hmm.
central nervous work, through regulating myself, learning how to do that, learning how to do breath work, learning how to meditate, learning how to,
Oh,
tapping,
do you
all of
do
that.
tapping?
I don't think I ever would have learned any of
I've
that.
seen it. I
I
haven't.
do. Yeah. I did it on the way to work this morning with the kids. I was so
Mm-hmm.
freaking overstimulated. I was just like I was doing some breath. I mean, obviously I couldn't like close my eyes and
Right.
fully get into the breath work while I was driving, but even just the simple breath work and just the little, the what are those called? What are they called? Those
Mm-hmm.
the like meridian points and your
Yeah.
like different pressure points too. Like those it's just yeah, it's doing that. It's so wild. I don't do it like well, but I think it helps. If it doesn't, it's a
Yeah.
great
That, hey,
placebo.
I'm all anything that gives you a little bit of calm and peace. I'm I'm all for.
Mhm. All for it. Yeah. Well, motherhood is hard. And you know what, too? I think this is another thing. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, if it's not hard for
Yeah.
you, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's great. Like, if you are like, I don't think it's hard. That's great. I don't want to shame or people who are, about to be
Like
moms
scare
or coming
them.
into this and
Yeah.
are like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I have." Yeah. No, it is the
Mm-hmm.
best thing that has ever happened to me. And I would have 100. Just kidding. That's wild. But maybe, I don't know if I could. I love those
Mm-hmm.
kids more than life itself. And it's so fun. I can't imagine my life
Yeah. I
any other
agree.
way,
I've been
but it
so
is hard.
grateful for motherhood, for Jesus
Mhm.
showing me the side of motherhood that I've experienced with my children, where it's it
Yeah, has
has
it healed
healed
you?
me. Oh, it absolutely has healed me. I feel like I'm walking in my true calling as a mom. It's like my bread and butter. It's
Mhm.
hard, but it's such a blessing, as cliche as that sounds, but it truly is. I'm so grateful. Yeah, I'm
No,
so
it
grateful for
is.
the things that it's been so transformative for me for two reasons. For selfish
Mhm.
reasons, as like I'm learning patience, I'm learning selflessness, I'm learning to be
Mhm.
humble. I'm humbled on a daily basis with Phoebe as my daughter, and I mean that with nothing but love. I'll
Phoebe
put you in your
will
place. Yeah.
humble you. She's humbled
Yeah,
me.
sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's not. She's respectful as can be. She just has a voice, and we honor that to some degree, as long as it's in the
Mhm.
means of kindness. And if it's not, then, we correct. But
Yes.
anyways,
Yes.
so I have my pure self transformation. And then I'm so grateful. I was reflecting on this the other day, where Jesus has really provided me with two babies that have been so total opposite. So I feel like I can truly empathize with a lot of parents where, like I had one formula fed baby and one breastfed baby. I had one baby who started off, sleeping independently, and I've had a baby who has co-slept since he came out of the womb. So I've done both. I have a neurotypical child and I
Yeah.
have a neurodivergent child. Everything about my children have been on total ends of the spectrum, where I feel like I can truly empathize and connect with a lot of parents in a lot of different ways. And that has been
Yeah.
so beautiful for me, where as hard as it is at times, and how all over the place you are in the chaos and the overstimulation,
Yeah.
it's just that when you're stepping back and you're looking at the bigger picture of the experience and the balance, I'm like, gosh, Jesus, as hard as this is, because we've walked through our tough times with both of our kids, I'm like, wow, thank you. Because I feel like it's
Yeah.
just not only expanded, and this is going to sound cheesy, like it's expanded my heart for my kids and for other people, but it's also opened my mind to this looks different for everybody. Everybody has a different walk,
Yeah. That's not cheesy.
and it's just such a gift. It's such a gift. And as hard as, we talk about how hard motherhood is, and it is, and I feel like we should normalize that it's hard. And us parents out there, like, we need some help. It's hard. We need physical help and we need spiritual help.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
there
we
is
need all of the
nothing but
help.
gratitude, I feel like, at the end of the day. I can't speak for every parent, but I feel like for myself and knowing you, there's so much gratitude in the fact
Yeah.
that we get to be here and we get to do this. Yeah.
We get to be moms and get to
Yes.
be their moms. Like, they're such
Mm-hmm.
incredible kids and such special. I mean, every kid is special and every kid, but it's like, the more I get to know Noah and know her little personality and know Forrest and see his little personality
Mm-hmm.
starting to blossom, I'm so
I
thankful I
know.
get to
And
be
it
their
really
mom.
shows. I'm, looking at my kids, looking at your kids, looking at my god kids, my friends' kids, truly love
Mhm.
children, if they're biologically mine or not. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but
You
reading the
do.
Bible, children were so important to Jesus and how he approached them and how he
Mhm.
expects us to approach them. And I feel like what I feel towards other kids is such a fraction as to what he feels about children. And I'm like,
To
we really
us.
are doing the important work. This is our legacy. We're building the next generation to be the next disciples. And I can see why it was so important to him and why he cherished it so much. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
gift. And kids are so unhinged, and I think it's the funniest thing ever. I'm like,
Yes.
I
Yes. Are.
love it.
Oh, they say the
Truly. I'm
wildest
like,
things.
that was truly unhinged. And I need to process this before I respond. But it's so special.
I know. I think that is that's the best. That is probably the best part about, I mean, other than like the love, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
unhinged comments and the little like partners in crime. It's just,
It's so
I love it.
special. Thank
I
you,
love it. I love it all.
Jesus.
And I thank you, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
for the babies and the people that they
Mm-hmm.
get to grow up to be
Yeah.
and will be. And it's so cool that we were chosen to
I
be
know. I
their
have to
parent.
end on something that my friend said to me one night. It not only put into perspective like what we were going through as parents, but just like how good God is. We were walking through everything with our son who has autism, and it was just such a crazy journey to his diagnosis, but there's a lot of joy and there's a lot of tears and there's a lot of confusion and there's just, I can't even explain the whirlwind of emotions that you go through, but you still end with love and acceptance for that child. But it doesn't negate all the hard times and the nights that like they're sleeping and you and your partner are, sobbing, thinking about everything that's happened and how their life is going to look differently. It doesn't mean it's not as special and it's not as honored, but I mean, it's hard to explain unless you're like fully in it. So anyways, I remember my friend, her name's Carrie. She was like, this was always going to be Tate's story. What makes it so special is that God specifically chose you and Ross to be his parents because he knew that you could care for him in the way that honored Tate and honored Jesus. And I was like, that was the most powerful thing I feel like anyone has ever said to me as a mom. And I was like, wow, this is at times hard. And he is truly such an easy child, but the walk is just different. It's a learning curve because he's nonverbal. So I was like, wow. When she said that, I was left feeling not just gratitude, but I was honored. I was like, I've been handpicked for this task to raise this child. And I could not be more thankful.
I love that perspective.
So, he
is so special. He is such a little angel.
He is an angel.
I'm so glad that what a sweet thing to say. And I love that. I really do love the perspective on that because God really does. I mean, he is so intentional with everything he does in this world. And so the fact that being Tate's story and picking you is just beautiful. But it makes sense. It makes perfect sense from the outside looking in because you were meant to be a mom. You're so good at it. You're so, well, thank you. But you are such a good, and that's why it's so hard because you are such a good mom. And Ross is such a good dad. And so we are really lucky that we have great partners too. I think that also, we didn't even touch on that. This is on motherhood, but I think we could do a whole nother episode on what a good fatherhood looks like too. And I'm just so thankful that God picked us to be parents and that we have really great equal partners in our marriage to help us and amazing dads for our kids to look up to.
I know. I feel like, I mean, they deserve all the credit in the world. Like, they deserve the hype. We should hype them up more, truly.
Yeah. Yes. At least my husband and Ross, I mean, I see them both like, look, maybe not everybody's like that, and I know they're not, but Evan does way more than any other man that I have seen with those
I love
kids.
when he comes over.
He is
I'm like,
the trenches.
He loves
he loves a kid himself.
The like playtime where sometimes I'm like, I don't think I'm fully healed for this type of act.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot do a dance party again after an obstacle course. Like, are you kidding?
And Evan's like, I could do this all night.
Let's do it again. Let's run it back.
Dads are so fun. I love dads with kids because at least in our house, there is no idea that my kids could come up with outside of safety reasons. But there is no idea that Ross is like, nah. Yeah. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's send it.
No. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly. Evan's like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do blah, 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 blah? And Noah's like, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Or I want to play with this, and then I want to do that. And I was like, okay,
so
let's
maybe
do it. They were doing baby yoga.
That's so
earlier.
Fun. I remember when Phoebe was into that. It'd be like before bed, and she's like, "You want to do some yoga?" And I would sleep amazing that night. I'm like, "Why don't we do this every night?"
Yeah. Noah came up and she's like, "Mommy, I'm doing fish." And she was like on the ground with like this little fish pose. And then she was like, "I'm
Oh
doing
my gosh.
asana."
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. She's so cute. Yeah, she just found the book. It was like I just redid their little play space and I put all the books up and she found the yoga book and she was like, "Daddy, look." And he was reading it and she loves all the different poses. And so they've been doing that. I need to find like an actual
Yeah.
YouTube video to make them do the yoga. Right now
Mhm.
it's just been the book
Yeah.
that Evan
Yeah.
reads and she
Oh,
does the pose.
we'll get her set up.
We need to do
Uh-huh.
like baby yoga flow
Yeah.
on YouTube.
That's so fun. Gosh. It's so fun.
I know. So cute. All right. Well, hey, before we end, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's listening. And I actually checked all of the analytics from our launch of Moms with a Call. And we've had, I think it was over, let me check my calculator again. It's probably still saved on there, but oh no, it's not. Over, I think it was like over 150 plays.
From the first
160
episode?
plays and downloads in the first week. From the first
Wow, that's
week.
wonderful. I'm like pleasantly surprised.
Isn't that wild?
It's not crazy because God, but
Me
honestly,
too.
I am pleasantly surprised. Just sometimes I feel like we're just on here yapping, just like the two of us, and I forget, like,
I know.
there's people. Yeah,
People are
which is so
listening.
wonderful. I just hope that if we build a community that it's just full of love and light and acceptance, and I think it'll be fun. I do.
Yeah, I think it will be. I'm just excited to keep growing it and talking on here and showing everybody, learning
And
together.
everybody's gonna know Maggie.
Oh, just so special. Yeah, she's oh sorry. She was like, "Are you gonna push me off again?" She's so dramatic. Yeah, she's a very dramatic cat. So yeah, everyone
She'll
will know
be our
Maggie by
mascot.
the end of this. But anyway, yeah, we need our next logo. We can tap
Just put a
Devin
little
again
kitty
and be like,
cat.
Maggie needs to be the center.
I love it. That's so fun. Well, is there
Oh my
anything
God.
else?
Yeah.
Should we pray for moms? All our moms?
Oh yeah, let's pray.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Dear Lord, thank you for everything that you have blessed us in this lifetime. And that includes motherhood and placing this beautiful gift on our hearts and in our lives. It's just something we do not take for granted. And we are so blessed that you chose us to be the moms of these precious little babies. And like I said, we don't take that lightly. I know everybody listening, if they're moms or want to be a mom, then you place that desire on their heart for a reason. And they are, meant to pursue motherhood and be incredible at it. And I just ask that as we move through motherhood and we move through our lives, whether we're trying to balance everything that comes with being a stay-at-home mom or everything that comes with being a working mom, or if someone is in between and they're a hybrid like I am, I just ask that you meet them where they are and that you give them the strength to continue serving you and raising these children exactly how you want them to be raised. I also ask that you just remind us when we're struggling that you are always going to give us what we need to be sustained and that it comes from you and only you. And we cannot carry this on our own. And so, Lord, I just ask that you're with all of the moms listening, all of the moms that aren't listening, all of the moms of the entire world, and that you just give everybody that peace and comfort as they walk through wherever they are in their motherhood journey. In Jesus' name I
Amen.
pray.
That was so
Amen.
good. So good. Thank you.
Thanks for being here with us today. If something resonated, maybe a sentence, a silence, or a story, hold on to that. If you felt seen or stirred or simply curious, we hope you'll join us again. Until then, stay open, stay tender, and remember, there's always a seat for you at the table.